Well, hello everyone. Well, today in this video we are going to do a typical interview about pets and animals. Most of the questions will be contained in the speaking challenge. Week 8. This will be model answer for you guys, so take your time, sit back and enjoy the video. If you guys want something more challenging, you can list out all of the questions that we use for the video, so you can use it for your own video to show us your opinion. But it's not compulsory, so it's up to you. Okay, so let's begin. Well, hello.
Hi.
I hope we can do it. Okay, so the first question: what is one of your favorite animals?
Again, in Vietnam, we should make the distinction as a pet or to eat.
Pet.
As a pet, that does go in line with the theme of today. I just wanted to check. I like cats. Cats are good pets. Yeah, if like you're out all day, they can take care of themselves. So long as you got like a nice sunny spot and something for them to scratch up. Yeah, cats are cool. Professional. Bring it together.
Why do you like it?
Why do I like cats?
Yeah, even more. Do you have a cat? Do you have a pet?
I don't have any pets here in Vietnam. Back in the States, my family has 2 cats still. So yeah.
Sorry. It just
She's thinking about her cat back home that she misses so much.
no. Okay, there's one thing that Vietnamese usually do when they try to flirt someone. So they would ask, what kind of pet do you like? If the boy or the girl say cat or dog, maybe cat, and she's gonna be like, yeah. So that one just popped up in my head when you say cat.
I don't know what she's getting at this point.
Come on, just I'm gonna cut it out.
Oh really?
Yeah, come on. Who the hell could give it?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying blooper reel. Anyway, running out of memory card, maybe a battery.
Okay. So, what is the difference between a pet and a wild animal?
Pets usually are domesticated versus wild animals are wild by nature. Literally and figuratively by nature. And hopefully, if you're being a responsible owner, your domesticated pet has received all the various vaccinations, shots, and whatnot to ensure that it's not likely to transmit any sort of diseases. Versus wild animals, well, they don't get that medical care, so wild animals tend to be a lot more dangerous for the diseases that they can carry, most notable of which would be rabies.
Yeah. So, what can children learn by having a pet?
2 things come to mind. First off is some degree of responsibility if they are required to take care of the pet to any extent, but likewise they can learn that from doing household chores, so yeah, they don't require a pet to learn that. Secondarily, consequences for actions. So if a child, say, I don't know, yanks on the tail of the dog and the dog goes around and, retaliates in some way, well, cause and effect. They realize there are consequences for their actions. But again, there are many ways they can learn this. You've pet a cat before, right? And then they're happy for a little bit, and then they start to like get this little look in their face, and they're like, oh, I should really stop petting you, but I'm kind of liking this. And then before you know it, the cat turns around, bites you, and claws and all that. So I suppose that's where you start to also learn to pay attention to your surroundings. Otherwise, potential painful consequences may be around the corner.
Isn't this too much for children, for a child?
I don't know, some of you people like high school and university age, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever been to a zoo?
Yes, I've been to a few different zoos, including the one here in Hanoi.
So, how was it?
Bleak, abysmal, borderline. It's not a place I would want to go again. Yeah. I've been to happier places. I've certainly been to greener places. Yeah.
Should animals be kept in the zoo?
Not that one. I don't know if this is like acceptable to say on camera. There are pluses and negatives. In zoos, animals can get certain amounts of healthcare, etc., rehabilitation, things of that sort. As well, endangered species can be kind of guided back from the brink of extinction, potentially. But if we're being responsible human beings, we're not putting them in that situation in the first place. So if you do it right, it can be a positive thing. But I think a lot of people don't do it right.
Do you think the most important thing by which psychopaths can be recognized is their attitude toward animals?
Okay, so first that word, psychopath, has two parts. Psycho, which means mind, and path, which refers to pathology or illness of some kind. So it means somebody with any kind of mental illness. Mental illness is a broad spectrum, and some people have mental illness where clearly it makes them very antisocial. But the vast majority of people who have any degree of mental illness are not like that. They exist much more on a normal spectrum, and you wouldn't know that they have any kind of mental illness. So let's just clarify it with that. Now, that being said, for people who are expected to become or who are expected to be exceptionally antisocial, yes, it's seen as an indicator or a predictor. There's a legitimate checklist that we have for people who are likely to become serial killers. And one of the things on that list is that they derive pleasure from the torture or killing of animals just for the sake of torturing and killing those animals. It doesn't mean like hunting and killing as sport. That's different. It doesn't mean killing for meat. That's different. It doesn't mean killing and torturing as is conducted in Vietnam, like say for dog meat. Dogs are tortured before killing, so that way they release adrenaline and supposedly makes the meat taste better. Or I've seen people torture and kill like mice in their home to make the mouse squeak and squeal and scream in agony and death throes and all that. And I was told they do that because the other mice can hear this and realize they don't want to have the same fate for themselves. I don't know if that's correct, but I've seen enough YouTube videos and things like that I don't think it's just hearsay. So again, those are different from simply torturing and killing animals for the sake of torturing and killing animals in one's own amusement.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, but it was slow enough, right?
Do you think it is acceptable to test cosmetics on animals?
Testing cosmetics on animals. I think that if we don't test cosmetics on animals, then they're just going to be tested on the general public. That being said, there are a lot of tests that can be done before they are tested on animals to ensure that they will be as safe as feasibly possible on those animals, and that animal testing is a fairly archaic way of testing products. And as technology develops and advances, we're going to find we have ways of testing products that don't require animals, and as soon as we can do that, the better. You know, if we can phase past testing on animals, then that would be ideal.
Yeah. How do you feel about the use of animals for medical research?
Same as testing the cosmetics. It's something that's useful to some extent. But again, it's archaic, and as we develop more technology, we can move past it. The one thing that has a bit of an issue is when people start testing like dietary components on animals. Like quite some years ago, there was a test done on using artificial sugars with rats, and the use of the artificial sugars in rats led to cancer in those rats. And then, of course, the media saw this and they took it and they blew it all out of proportion, saying these artificial sugars instantaneously cause cancer and blah, 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 which is nonsense, because the volume of that artificial sugar that they were using on a rat, you would have to drink like 400 cans of Diet Coke each day to obtain, to take in the same volume of the artificial sugars. So it does serve some purpose, but too easily what's tested on animals and seen in animals is misextrapolated in understanding potential effects on humans. So that has a definite negative.
Okay. Some people think that people shouldn't wear animal furs. Do you agree? And why not?
Two things. First might be that it's horrific to slaughter animals for, or actually, the thing is that quite often these furs are not taken from dead animals, right? Literally, they will rip the skin off of a living animal to make that kind of jacket. And it's not, you're shipping like, exactly. Like if you were to try and take something to peel a potato or peel a carrot, and imagine taking that to it's the same concept. It's not a happy notion, right? So that's horrific. Opposite end, you're right, this might not be okay for kids. The opposite end is that if an animal has died or has been killed for meat or various other components, it makes sense to me to then use every single gram of that animal to the fullest extent to be able to show almost respect for the sacrifice that was made. But again, it's fairly archaic. We're learning to be able to develop meat and leathers and artificial manifestations of biological components inside laboratory settings. So at some point we won't need to bother with it.
Okay, so if you could turn into an animal, which animal would you be?
Being a human is a really good deal. I feel like being a dog would not be that bad, assuming that you were born in like Finland or something.
Not in Vietnam.
Not in Vietnam. No. It's like, different cultures respect or treat animals very, very differently. And yeah, if there's any ounce of truth to Buddhism, hopefully I'm doing things right, so I don't have to ever consider that question. So I keep moving up. I keep leveling up with my experience points of reaching towards nirvana. Anyway, I don't know. Can we skip?
Okay, I think that's all. So now you please do me a favor, read all of the questions for Speaking Challenge 8.
Questions for Speaking Challenge 8. What is one of your favorite animals? Why do you like it? Do you have one for a pet? What animals like to be petted? This microphone, I don't want to pet the mic because I might create noise, but it looks like it could be pettable. Have you ever been to a zoo? And should animals be kept in a zoo? That's it. Pretty straightforward. Careful with your pronunciation, articulation, consonant clusters, and all that. Anything else?
Thanks.
Okay, she's the boss. You go ahead and move on.
But I think it's,
see ya.
It's like some people were talking about putting